What if the most powerful and healing medicine for women over 50 wasn't found in a prescription bottle or a diet plan, but within your own awareness of your body? What if what you were taught to suppress, ignore, or feel embarrassed about was actually the missing key to calmer moods, better sleep, and a more vibrant sense of self? For too long, society has sent women messages that aging means slowing down, losing connection with their bodies, or fading into the background. But science tells a very different story. After menopause, the body still holds remarkable potential for renewal, balance, and pleasure, not from external fixes, but from reconnecting with your inner rhythms, your emotions, and your physical sensations. Today, we'll uncover some essential truths that many women wish they had known earlier in life. These are not quick tips, but deeply grounded insights that support your mind, your body, and your confidence as you age. Let's begin with the first one: stress and hormonal balance. After 50, life doesn't necessarily get easier. Many women find themselves supporting grown children, helping aging parents, or adjusting to retirement and health changes. Stress can build quietly, layer after layer, until it begins to affect sleep, mood, and overall energy. Hormonal shifts during menopause can intensify this, especially as estrogen and progesterone levels fluctuate. These changes may cause restlessness, irritability, or a feeling of being on edge. This is where reconnecting with your body becomes a natural therapy. Gentle touch, mindful breathing, stretching, or self-care routines before bed can release tension and trigger a calming chemical response in the brain. The body begins to produce oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which soothes the nervous system and reduces stress hormones like cortisol. Endorphins rise as well, creating a sense of lightness, ease, and emotional comfort. I once worked with a woman in her early 60s who told me she hadn't slept through the night in years. She had tried everything: meditation apps, herbal teas, even medication. What finally helped wasn't another product, but learning to reconnect with her own body through mindful relaxation and emotional self-soothing. Within weeks, her sleep improved, and she said she felt like she had found her reset button. This is what happens when you slow down enough to listen to your body's signals. Sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't something new, it's remembering that your body already knows how to restore balance. Now, let's move to something equally important: protecting your physical health. Many women over 50 notice changes in their intimate well-being. They might describe feelings of dryness, tightness, or reduced comfort during physical closeness. These are completely natural results of lower estrogen levels after menopause. Estrogen once kept the tissues of the pelvis soft, flexible, and well lubricated. When it declines, blood flow to those tissues decreases, leading to dryness and thinning. But here's the encouraging truth: you are not powerless in this process. Just like exercise keeps your muscles strong, gentle stimulation and regular circulation in the pelvic region help keep tissues healthy and active. Activities like yoga, pelvic floor exercises, or even mindful body awareness practices can improve oxygen flow and flexibility. Over time, these habits can support comfort, prevent fragility, and even help maintain sensitivity. One woman shared how simply returning to body movement and self-awareness helped her feel not only more comfortable physically, but also more confident and grounded in her body again. She laughed as she told me that even her balance and posture improved, small changes that made a big difference in her daily life. These moments of reconnection are powerful. They remind you that your body is not fading, it's evolving. And with care and attention, it continues to thrive. And here's a message every woman needs to hear: it is never too late to start. Some women reach their 50s, 60s, or even 70s and feel as though they've missed their chance to feel vibrant again. That is absolutely not true. Your body is always capable of healing, adapting, and finding new ways to feel alive. I remember a woman in her 70s who had grown up in a very conservative household, where conversations about the body or emotions were rare. When she finally began reconnecting with her own sense of comfort, touch, and curiosity, something changed. She said she felt awake for the first time in decades. She smiled differently. She carried herself with new confidence. Age doesn't close doors, it opens deeper ones. Each year gives you more understanding, compassion, and wisdom. The body simply needs permission to catch up to that truth. So wherever you are in your journey, whether you're rediscovering your comfort, learning new ways to relax, or simply learning to care for yourself with kindness, remember this: your body has not forgotten how to feel good. It's waiting for you to listen again. As women continue their journey through midlife and beyond, many discover that reconnecting with their bodies brings not only comfort but also confidence. There's something quietly powerful that happens when you begin to care for yourself, not out of routine, but from genuine self-respect. When you show yourself attention, when you listen to your body without judgment, you're sending a message that says, I still matter. I still belong in this world as I am. Over the years, I've seen women in their 50s, 60s, and 70s regain a glow that no cosmetic product could ever create. This change doesn't come from the outside, it starts within. When you take time to nurture your physical and emotional well-being, the brain responds. Hormones such as dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins rise naturally, helping to lift your mood, calm anxiety, and bring back a sense of lightness. Many women describe it as feeling awake again, as though they've rediscovered a forgotten part of themselves. One woman in her mid-60s once told me that after making small daily rituals of self-care, she found herself smiling more often, humming while cooking, and feeling genuinely beautiful again. Her family noticed it too. Her daughter said she seemed brighter and more alive. This is the transformation that comes when you remember that confidence doesn't come from approval or comparison, it comes from connection. When you honor your body and emotions with patience and curiosity, you begin to radiate from the inside out. This inner confidence naturally spills over into relationships. Many women assume that once they reach a certain age, their connection with their partners, or their own sense of sensuality, must fade. But the truth is, understanding and caring for your own body often strengthens relationships. It builds clearer communication, deeper empathy, and emotional closeness. I remember one woman in her early 60s who had been married for over 3 decades. She felt her relationship had lost its warmth and that her body no longer responded the way it once did. After taking time to reconnect with herself, through relaxation, mindfulness, and gentle self-awareness, she returned months later with tears in her eyes. She said, for the first time in years, I could tell my husband what I needed. We started laughing again. That openness and honesty restored not only their intimacy but also their friendship. And if you're not in a relationship, this connection with yourself is equally meaningful. It reminds you that your worth and your joy are not dependent on anyone else's presence. You can feel fulfilled, peaceful, and confident entirely on your own. When you carry that self-assurance, it naturally changes how you move through the world. You become more open, approachable, and radiant, not because of what you're doing, but because you've made peace with who you are. Still, one challenge remains for many women: the quiet stigma surrounding these conversations. Generations have been taught to stay silent about their emotions, their bodies, or their needs. But silence has only kept too many women from understanding themselves fully. Breaking that silence is not about rebellion, it's about freedom. When you begin to talk openly about your experiences, you release the weight of shame that may have followed you for years. You begin to understand that there is nothing unnatural or inappropriate about caring for yourself. Whether it's through relaxation, meditation, body awareness, or emotional healing, these are acts of self-respect. They tell the world that your comfort, health, and happiness still matter. I once met a woman in her late 60s who told me she felt embarrassed to even ask for advice about her changing body. She had spent her entire life taking care of others, her children, her husband, her home, but had never learned how to care for herself. When she finally began to prioritize her own well-being, something shifted. She stood taller, smiled more freely, and said, I feel like I belong to myself again. That sense of belonging is the heart of this journey. When you break old taboos and allow yourself to reconnect, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you reclaim your freedom. You stop living by other people's expectations and start living by your own truth. That freedom touches every part of your life. It changes the way you see yourself in the mirror, the way you carry yourself, and the way you show up in the world. So as we bring this message together, remember this: your age is not a limitation, it's an invitation. Every year has given you more wisdom, depth, and strength. The key is to use that wisdom to care for yourself with the same compassion you've given to others. Your body is still capable of joy. Your spirit is still capable of renewal. And your life is still rich with possibility. The moment you choose to listen to your body, honor your emotions, and release old shame, you step into your power again. You become the author of your own peace, your own vitality, and your own joy. And that, truly, is what it means to live fully, at any age.